Good morning, and Merry Christmas Eve.
Oh,
The double wave, the ho ho ho. What more can he ask for? And now he's speechless. Wow.
and now I'm speechless.
Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. Yeah, AKA Christmas Eve. Got some dry eyes, Trev? What was that?
Yeah, that happens sometimes when I keep them open for too long. Sometimes I have this issue where I just don't blink enough.
Oh.
And my eyes get dry and scratchy and then red as a result.
Yeah, it's very dry in here. Could use a humidifier.
Humidifier, that was one of the best things I got for Christmas last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let us know where you're watching from. We know some people, like us, it's kind of a normal work day. Other people are traveling. And if you have any questions for Trev, let him know.
Yeah.
Or me, probably not, but.
For us, it's just a normal work day.
Yeah.
For most people, it's Christmas Eve, but for us, it's just Tuesday.
Just Tuesday, yes. Yeah.
But don't worry, tomorrow is Christmas because we're not even working tomorrow.
Yes.
I feel bad for the evening show. It's like we don't have to work, but then Joe still does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there'll still be news coverage, but in the evening time.
In the evening. The morning crew will not be here. We'll be taking a reprieve and taking our free day off. I'm using it to go to my aunt's house in Kalkaska in the afternoon. She's cooking up some delicious holiday prime rib, and I can't wait because I've been living off of ramen for way too long.
You're going to be eating good tomorrow, Trev.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure to take home some leftovers, too, if she has any.
For sure.
Oh, yes.
Is that Aunt Dana?
I've been eating like a peasant, but I'm going to eat like a king tomorrow.
I'm excited for you, Trevor. That should be great. And yeah, we'll be back here Thursday.
You know what else is really exciting?
What?
The weather question. And also weather in general.
This is quite fascinating.
It is, yeah. And I'm like, not to, just kind of put myself out there for a second, but I wouldn't be in this business. I wouldn't even be in this job if I wasn't passionate about weather. And it's stuff like this that's just fascinating to me. Especially when you look at the recency bias, because recency bias is a real thing. We talk so much about how this is such a warm year, and it was. There's absolutely zero denying that. There was a weather question that I did a few months ago when I was working the morning show, and I talked about how we had like a record number of high temperature records. Like we have like I think 12 now this year and 0 low temperature records. All of our temperature records this year are all high temps and no low temps. And as a matter of fact, we haven't broke a low temperature record in over 2 years, which is also like equally as absurd if you think about that. But anyway, we talk about recency bias, we talk about how it's been so warm, but then here we're talking about a question where we had a massive drop in temperatures over the course of a 24-hour period. That was earlier this year. I remember that day in February. I actually can't remember the exact day it was, but it was in February this year. We had some of the largest drops in temperatures, an absurd drop in temperatures. And this wouldn't have happened if we weren't so warm the day prior, but it did happen. So in Grand Rapids, this is actually where I took it from because Grand Rapids had the largest drop, so I just picked that out of the pile of many areas. I could have chose Detroit, I could have chose here or Gaylord, I could have chose Kalamazoo, which also had very ridiculous numbers. But I chose Grand Rapids because it was the largest one. The largest 24-hour drop in temperature in Michigan history happened this year in February in Grand Rapids. Over a course of just 24 hours, they dropped 51, 58, or 64 degrees are your answer choices. And you could look at any of those numbers and go, wow, that's ridiculous. And you're right, it is. That is a lot. I think I talked about this yesterday on the Facebook Live, that when I went back home to Texas, I went through about a 70, or it was 60 degree temperature change over the course of 5 hours. But that's because I went from the almost Canadian border to Texas. We didn't go anywhere and we dropped 50 degrees or more, potentially, depending on what you think the answer is. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll give you that's some food for thought. An interesting question. I was fascinated by that when I put this together. Ho, ho, ho. Now time to get into the weather forecast for today. It's actually very simple. There's not a whole lot to talk about today. Yesterday we had the weather warn day, messy. I went out to go to the store yesterday night because I just didn't want to do it today, and I definitely wasn't going to do it tomorrow because I have the day off, and I didn't want to go out and do any chores. When I went out to the store, it was just a slushy mess. I wore my winter boots because I knew it was going to be slushy mess, and I still got my feet wet because that's how slushy and just, it was basically about as close as you could get to a Slurpee on the ground for many areas, and we had to deal with that this morning, especially in areas that don't get the plows as much. You know, you have to deal with that at sometimes. But otherwise, we're not going to add any more snow to that outside of a few flurries and some isolated, very light lake effect snow showers today. In hindsight, looking back at this, I probably should have changed this, but I think there's a little bit more sunshine in that graphic than should probably be there. I don't think we'll end up seeing a whole lot of sunshine today, or hardly any, like, at all for some people. But I do think there's the potential we could see some. A cooler day. Now, the temperatures are around the same as yesterday, but we don't have the wind today, so that cuts off the wind chill and wind as a factor, and it cuts off the added precip as a factor as well. So we'll be pretty dry today. Otherwise, I guess I could show Stormcast, even though on a day like this where it's like there's not much to talk about, there's not really much point in showing it, I'll show it anyways. So you can see around the map, especially in the northern lower, there's the potential for just a couple flurries around. And like stuff like this that's so light and so small, it doesn't even typically show up on Stormcast or radar when that happens sometimes. But there's the possibility from now until the end of the day through even early night, even potentially past midnight, maybe a couple flurries. And then tomorrow, dry, sunshine. Looks like there may be some stuff happening like over the lake, but for us inland and just all around northern Michigan, a very cloudy day. I don't think we'll see any sunshine tomorrow for our Christmas, but I think that's normal, right? So I'm not really going to complain. I guess that's normal this time of year. Michigan just has a lot of clouds. I forgot what blue skies looked like until I went back home to Texas, where we had blue skies for like 5 hours when I was there, and then they got rain and storms. Storms! We have snow here, and so I forgot what that was kind of like too for a while. Anyway, a cloudy day tomorrow for our Christmas, but we're going to have a south wind, and so that's going to warm up our temperatures. And that's the other thing that I spent a good amount of time talking about today. I didn't spend too much time talking about it yesterday because we had a weather warn day and all that. I wanted to talk about the snow because that was the thing that was the most important happening right then, of course. But today there's not a whole lot to talk about, so I talked about, oh, what's happening in the future? Well, the main weather headline, if you ask me now, is the warming temperatures. It was around this time last year. As a matter of fact, I remember Christmas exactly a year ago. It was raining in like 55 degrees in Traverse City. We're not going to be anywhere near that warm, and it's not going to be raining tomorrow, but it will be close to that warm, and similar conditions regarding the rain late this week and into this weekend. Some areas, I mean, as an average, around northern Michigan, we'll have an average temperature of around 45, or definitely into the 40s late Friday into especially Saturday, and probably Sunday too. Widespread 40s as an average. And I would not at all be surprised if we saw a couple low 50s in some areas on Saturday with that rain. The GFS, which is a model that I call it the goofus model, because more than half the time I feel like it's way off, but it does do a relatively good job showing temperature trends in a warming spell. So at times like this, when you get a warming spell and you're getting a warming trend, the goofus isn't always all that wrong. The goofus had 56 in Traverse City on Saturday. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I think probably not. But it's just a good idea of like what we're looking at. Like some areas are going to be way above average on Saturday. Like you look at the temperature's supposed to be right around freezing, and we're going to go right back to warm. Fortunately, if you look toward the end of that graph, it doesn't look like it's going to stick around for too long. So we're going to be warm for a few days, have some rain for a few days. Hey, that melts all the snow off the roads, and so that makes travel really nice for a couple of days as well. Maybe not so great for all the skiers and the snowmobilers and snowboarders and stuff. But sometimes it happens. Warm-ups and cool-downs are all part of natural weather phenomena, and so that's what we're looking at for this weekend. And as I mentioned, I do want to just cover that real quick. I'll show the 7-day. We're looking at rain. Actually, I'm not going to show this. I guess I can leave this up for a second. But with the temperatures being so warm, the preset that we're going to get this weekend is going to be all rain. Like, I don't even think there may be a couple mixed showers, but definitely no snow. It's going to be way too warm for that. Let me show the Euro model. So here's what we're looking at for the remainder of today. So in and out, cloudy, as I mentioned. There's the potential for a little sunshine tomorrow. Although, again, still pretty cloudy for the most part going into Thursday morning. And then we get kind of this, isolated showers ahead of this next system that's coming in off the plains. Cloudy still. And then late Friday, that system kind of arrives. And then there's the look at Saturday with the onboard rain and more rain and more rain. And through Sunday, still more rain. And then once that system finally passes, it looks like we could finally get some snow and cooler temperatures back into the forecast in the middle or latter end of next week. And statistical modeling shows there's a pretty good chance by the later middle or end of next week, we'll go right back to significant lake effect snowfall. So yeah, we go from rain to snowfall and way above freezing to potentially way below freezing in 1 week. Now temperatures that far out are a little hard to tell. There was some models a couple of days ago, even my dad sent me this, that there's the potential for a mass freeze down in Texas with some snow and ice. And I was like, well, it's possible. But that's also 2 weeks from now. And us meteorologists, whenever we look at stuff that's more than a week out on models, we call it model fantasy land because, hey, it's anyone's guess. There's a relatively decent chance it could happen. But is it likely? No, because it's over a week out. There's a reason why our extended forecast is only 7 days, because anything beyond that is basically a wild guess. With statistical modeling, of course.
Yeah. You made your point, Trev, yeah.
Some people think that we can forecast for a month out. No. I don't know where some people get that. No. Anything outside of 3 days is sometimes hard.
Yeah, Director Dan's scared. I am keeping my distance. Everything good over there, Trev?
Yep.
Good, yeah.
Let's go back to the weather quiz, shall we?
Okay, sounds good.
I'm fired up for this Christmas.
Trevor,
fired up. The Yellow Stars won last night, so I'm happy.
Good deal. We're going to go a little out of order, if that's okay.
Yeah,
but
go for it.
Mama Roubadeaux is watching, so we're going to start with her.
She just watched me froke out on live social
Kelly,
media
you scared
TV.
too? You scared?
No, she's used to this.
She said, good morning, Brendan and Trev and all your UpNorthLive crew and staff. Merry Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays. Covering all the bases. May we all have a joyous holiday season filled with love, peace, joy, and laughter. Safe travels to all. Have a merry, blessed holiday season, love, and hugs. And all the way from Texas, I feel that love. That was really nice, Kelly. Thank you. Any messages from Mom?
To me personally? I don't think so.
No. Do you have any messages for your mom?
Oh, well, I'm sad that I couldn't be down.
He's walking away.
I'm sad that I couldn't be down there again this year because things just don't always work out. But it was fun to be there for the week that I was there, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I hope everything goes well. Things are always changing at her new job. It feels like so. I'm hoping that things kind of just settle down and adjust. And I can only imagine how busy they are now around holidays and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kelly. And, another one. That mass freeze doesn't look likely, at least not in Texas. Trev is very passionate about the weather, is he not? LOL. Oh, yeah. And that's why, one of the
I went to
we're
4
lucky to
years
have
for
him,
this.
Kelly.
I went to 4 years of grueling college physics and calculus for this.
Yep. You worked hard.
This is my life. Hockey is my life.
That's why I did not pursue a meteorology degree, because of all the math and science. Woo!
No, there's always a massive dropout in people that go through the meteorology program. We had we had, I think, 40. My freshman class going in was 40, graduated with 12.
Oh, wow.
So more than half the people
Yeah.
dropped out because either the calculus or the physics or both were way too much. Now, granted, Iowa State is definitely like an engineering and agriculture school, and so they take their calculus way more seriously. It's like way, way harder.
Oh.
But hey, that's a good thing, right? Because it means we cover all the bases, and our engineers are good, and we take a lot of pride in that.
Good.
Go Cyclones!
Good. All right, there's the plug.
The
For
plug.
your school, yep. Paul
I
is
worked
saying-
hard for that 70.
Yes. Paul is saying good morning, Brendan and Trevor. If Gib is back to him as well. Gib is still on vacation. We have Dr. Dan this week, Paul. Paula, I love when Paul and Paula are back to back. Paul is saying Merry Christmas to all from Boyne Falls, 29 and cloudy. It's always what happens when I eat my sandwich when Trevor's talking. Or Heather. All right, I'll do my best here. Keep going. Sandy is saying Happy Merry Christmas Eve, Brendan and Trevor from Maple City. I'm all wrapped up except 3 gifts arriving Amazon today. And Sandy's also leaving for downstate Rochester Thursday. We'll visit family and friends. She hasn't been down in 2 years. And she says, you know, Trevor, we are making prime rib on New Year's Eve. We are bringing it down. I hope my dogs don't eat it on the way down. I'm kidding, but they will be aware it's in the vehicle.
They're gonna smell it. They know it's there.
Probably drive them crazy, she said.
Yeah, yeah.
She's
Especially
also, oh, go ahead.
I can only imagine, like, sometimes I try to put myself in the world of a dog where they think a lot. Their lives are so much more simple than ours, right? Like, they think very simply. They're like food, eat, sleep, have fun, get pets, and good stuff, right? And so with their, I don't want to say simple minds because it's definitely an over-exaggeration and not true to say that they're simple-minded because they do have very complex systems as well that not a lot of people talk about, but they do. But like, can you imagine how good does prime rib smell? Just think about that for a second. Now imagine if you have 20 times our smelling capability, what those dogs have to go through.
Yeah.
You sit there in a car, you're just teasing the poor guy or gal.
Really, 20
drooling
times?
At the
20
mouth.
times as good
It's
as us?
all over your carpet. I don't know. Maybe your dog doesn't like the smell of meat. There's no way that would be true. Dogs are naturally carnivores for the most part. But
Yeah. Oh, that sounds delicious. Sandy's thinking 51 degrees for the weather quiz. She's also, asking if I had a chance to try the blackberry wine. No, Sandy, not yet. I'm waiting for a special occasion. I've been meaning to.
Blackberry.
She made blackberry wine. And I have a bottle unopened. I can't wait to try it. She's also saying have a wonderful Christmas and New Year. And that's it for now from Miss Sandy. We have Paul saying Merry Christmas. Joel
Merry Christmas.
was with us at 6:20 this morning. He's saying good morning from the Pleasanton Patriots Pub, 30 degrees, cloudy. Got 2 more inches of snow yesterday, just enough to get a little Christmas Eve snowmobile ride in, he said. Snowmobile was the word I was looking for. Joel said Merry Christmas to all, I think.
Merry Christmas.
There we go, yeah. Andy is loving the record high temperatures. Andy, I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome to the conversation. Nancy saying good morning from East Jordan, where it's 29 degrees. Jim saying happy Kringle, enjoy your roast beef. Mark is saying good morning from Fremont, Indiana, 33 degrees. Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas.
Paul is
Eve.
guessing the 64-degree option, Trev. We have David, our friend from Baltimore, saying good morning and Merry Christmas. There is some snow on the ground here, along with a mix of sleet and freezing rain. Should stop around 11 and get above freezing. He said it's nice to look at, and he'll see if he can send a picture.
Freezing rain is just the absolute worst.
Oh,
if you think driving through slushy snow is bad, I mean, freezing rain, that's just ice.
Yeah.
It's literally
Not good.
ice. Like, you're driving on ice is what that is. It's horrible.
Not good. 58 degrees is Paula's guess. We have my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hello.
Saying Merry Christmas Eve. Hello, Brendan and Trevor and Facebook friends. Happy holidays. Dave saying it's 30 degrees in Breckenridge, and we will have a white Christmas now. Finally got snow here.
It will melt a little bit tomorrow, but not nearly enough to get rid of the snow we have now. We'll have a white Christmas for sure.
Dave's guess is 58 degrees. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and be safe. Susan Lash Sims, also with us again here on this Christmas Eve, said morning again. It's still cloudy and 26 degrees in Kalkaska. Her guess is 51 degrees. Wait, oh no, it was Gail. Never mind.
Yep.
I was thinking, like, did Susan Lash Sims guess? No. That was for our first Facebook Live. Jackie saying, good morning, Facebook friends. 28 degrees at my house in Kalkaska. She has a little story to tell, Trevor.
Does she?
55 years ago, I went to the hospital and had a baby boy. Wishing my son Dan a happy birthday. Merry Christmas Eve to everyone out there. Be safe. So happy birthday to Dan.
Happy birthday and Merry Christmas.
What was that, Director Dan?
Not that Dan.
Director Dan. You're not Jackie's son?
Director Dan.
Okay, we've confirmed that Director Dan is not Jackie's son. Lori's saying Merry Christmas Eve from Cedar. Looking like a white Christmas. Hope the roads are better than yesterday.
They should gradually improve throughout the day as they get used.
Good deal, yeah. She is attending midnight mass at church tonight. Jackie's guessing 51 degrees. We read your mom's comment. Joel guessing 51. Our friend and weather watcher Alice, also with us, saying Merry Christmas. It's 30 in Alpena.
Merry Christmas.
And, oh, I'm guessing this is still your mom commenting under your dad's name. My one morning off this week, so I get to watch. Love you, she says. And Calculus 3 and DiffEQs, differential equations, I think is what that is, right?
Yeah, differential equations.
Are the final draw, she says.
What a nightmare class that was.
Oof.
It started off okay, and then it got so bad so quickly. I went from like, hey, this isn't too bad, to what in the world is happening in like, I think 3 days. Not kidding. Like, I went from like, hey, this, like, I was on top of it. I was like, all right, I understand these topics.
Sure.
Because there was actually a little bit of like physics application in DiffEQ for a while. And so I was like, hey, like, I know this stuff. This is great. I like this. And then they started talking about whatever nonsense, some dude that lived 300,000 years ago and has some Pythagoras type name, concept, theorem thing. And I'm just like, yep, all right, yep, I'm out, yep. DiffEQ was the one class that I was happy to escape with a D+, and I'm so glad that D+ was still considered passing, because no way, no, I would not retake that class ever again. How much did I actually understand from that class? Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter, because I found out that in meteorology, there is only one, I repeat, one topic from DiffEQ that actually matters in meteorology. So the other 99% of that class doesn't mean anything to me. And so I forgot it all. I don't remember anything other than that class, other than that I hated it so much.
I had a math class too, Trev, that I took pass-fail the first round.
Yeah.
I did not pass it. So I took it for a grade, and I got, yeah, like a D something, and I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah.
So I had to take it twice, and it was the one math credit I needed. Ugh, it was just, I did not understand it whatsoever. It's bringing back bad memories.
Calc 3 actually wasn't bad.
It was not nowhere close to that level, but it was, yeah, I can't even remember. I'd have to look back at my transcripts, Trev, to even tell you what class it was, but it was math, but it wasn't.
Was it like
it was for
trig?
No.
Trigonometry? Trigonometry trips up a lot of people. You start adding in cosine and sine and tangent and cotangent. People are like, what?
Maybe it involves some of that, but anyway, just PTSD. We have Kathy saying, wishing you all the best, stay safe. Paul saying,
Safe
hi, Dan.
and Merry Christmas.
Is Paul saying hi to Dan, the birthday boy Dan, or that Dan? Probably that Dan. Alice wants to know if I got her Christmas card, and I didn't, Alice. I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere up front. I need to go look around. But Alice, thank you in advance for that. That's very nice of you. Gail saying good morning again, 26 and cloudy. Have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you, Gail. We have Beth, Allie Baxter's mom.
Hello.
Watching, and she's saying Merry Christmas.
Good morning and Merry Christmas.
Good to hear from you, Beth. Thank you for watching. My mom commented again. Oh, normally you don't get 2 comments from Christine. Benji says Merry Christmas and loves his new heated blanket that I didn't get for him. Yeah, I was telling Trevor earlier because I got pictures from my mom. Benji enjoying laying on the heated blanket.
Yep.
Just on his back, loving life.
Consuming all the warmth.
And my mom said, prime rib, yummy. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Me too, Mom. Sandy said, that's fine to save that for a special occasion. It makes your cheeks rosy. Good to know. Strong, smooth, and sweet. She did give me a heads up. It's strong. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. David said a local meteorologist, talking about in Baltimore, feels the same way about Fantasy Model Land.
Yep.
There are models showing a big snow for us the weekend after New Year's.
Yeah, the weekend. Oh, yeah. So 2 weeks out from now. Yeah. Check in on that in like a week and a half and see how true that ends up
And
being.
then David said the next day it didn't show that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yep.
Model Fantasyland, it changes so dramatically over the course of 24 hours if you're looking out that far. It's like flipping this. It's like as close as you can get to flipping the script, basically.
Joel said I'll be putting up a small tree on my bar in the pub and watching It's a Wonderful Life. Sounds like a nice tradition. Oh, Sandy has more. Sounds like she has more wine with the smiley face. So good to know, Sandy. And your mom, Trevor, is saying, yeah, when Trev said in the first week that Diffie Q's was easy, I told him to just wait. She had to take it as well, I'm guessing.
I spoke way too soon. It was not easy. I'm pretty sure she took it. Yeah.
And Sandy said, I took microbiology 3 times.
Oh.
50 questions, fill in the blank, killed me.
Oh no.
And then your mom said, oh, Sandy, microbiology brings back nightmares.
Yeah, so
Ugh.
I didn't take microbiology, but I lived in a fraternity with biology students and chem students who had to take that class. And
Yeah.
I heard nothing but horrendous things about that course.
Oh, boy.
Nobody had a good time.
Oh.
It was like walking into the engineering hall the day before finals. There was just nothing but dread in that classroom. Not even the majors like that class.
Yikes.
Yeah. Didn't take it. Glad I didn't. That sounds horrible.
And Paul was talking to Director Dan, just to clear things up. Looks like we're all caught up. A lot of comments. We love it. We love the interaction. That's why we do this.
Yes. We love the interaction.
Trevor, do you have the comb in your hair right now?
I do.
Just in case your
I
hair
do.
gets
I like to
out
fiddle
of
with things
place.
sometimes. Sometimes it's the comb, sometimes it's
That's okay.
a pen, and sometimes it's the highlighter, sometimes it's my phone,
keyboard
or the
or
clicker, or a piece of paper. It's almost never a piece of
That's
paper,
okay.
actually. It's almost never a piece of paper. That's a lie.
So what is the answer? Yeah, we're all caught
Right, yes. The answer is 51 degrees. So if you want the exact numbers, here you go. Grand Rapids went from 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, this was in February, so 73 was absurdly warm, which, as I mentioned at the beginning, was the reason why the temperature, like this record even happened to begin with, is because it was so absurdly warm. And then a clipper came through and was like, yeah, by the way, we're still in winter. What is that doing here? 73 degrees, get out of here. Ew, gross. It's not spring yet. And then it went down to, so that was at 3 p.m., 73 degrees. And the next day, only 22 hours later, I said 24, it was only 22. At 1 p.m. the next day, it was 22 degrees. So as a 51 degree temperature drop in technically 22 hours in Grand Rapids, which holds the record for the largest temperature change in the entire state of Michigan in all recorded history.
That is
And that happened this
extreme.
year. That was this year. That was 8 months ago.
Extreme, wow.
10. Math. I took 3 calculus classes, by the way.
Looks like Dan's talking to Paul, and we have some other quiz standings to talk about, Trev.
Stumped them all today.
Yes, it did. We all got it wrong. So we'll just, move on from that. And, all right, so Sandy's heading out. Have a great holiday. And
Merry Christmas.
Mark
Stay safe.
said, or your mom said, give him a spinner.
Spinner. I used to have
Like a
fidget
fidget
spinners.
spinner? Yeah.
See, both times now that you mention it, both times I went back home during the summer and this last time, I have fidget spinners at my house. And I wanted to bring one back with me, and I forgot. ADHD brain, I forgot. I have I think there's 6. It's 6. I have 6 of them at home. You're probably thinking, that's 5 too many. Yeah, but that's how frantic my brain is, especially whenever I'm not tired.
Yeah.
Like today,
Yeah.
this is normal. What you're getting right now is this is not a bit. It's not an act. This is just unbridled energy and nothing to do with it, but to express it in the forms of holiday cheer and weather and joy.
And no caffeine, right?
And no caffeine. I can't imagine what I would be like on caffeine. Don't ever do that to me. Like what?
Like
I'm already
put a cage
bouncing off the
around
walls.
him
What
over
is
there.
caffeine gonna do to me?
Bouncing off.
Honestly,
the
I
ceiling.
almost feel like I have so much excess energy to begin with. I feel like caffeine would force me to shut down.
Oh.
There's probably absolutely zero way that that's true. That doesn't make any sense. But like, I just kind of get that feeling of like, what if it just has the exact opposite effect, and I go into energy overload and then just shut down? It's like just a random Trevor thought that's probably not even close to true. But
keep that caffeine away
I
from
wouldn't
you.
know. I don't drink I don't take caffeine.
And Dan, you can skip the other graphic because we're not going to be here tomorrow.
It's true.
But we will be back again Thursday, starting at 4:30 a.m.
Yep.
And the rest of your mom's comment, have a wonderful week, everyone. Merry, Merry Christmas. And Alice said, you need a good woman. And Sandy said, Trevor should tornado chase. Do a live show.
That's,
I can see him
a
playing in
tornado
Twister
chase is
3.
literally, like, that's my favorite hobby outside of my main hobbies whenever there's active weather happening. I can't do it around here because, like, the most obvious reason why is because there's just not any tornadoes around here. But also, even if there was, I just wouldn't do it because Michigan, one of the #1 rules in storm chasing, in tornado chasing, is that you should never do it in an area with high density trees, which is like the entire state of Michigan. So like,
Michigan, yeah.
really bad idea to do it here. Also, like northern Missouri is also a big no-no. You should never chase, like Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, like do not ever chase in high density trees. Like if you can't see that thing and then it gets on top of you, well then guess what happens?
Yeah.
I don't think I gotta say the rest of that sentence.
Not going to end well. Dan saying our insurance won't cover him in a tornado, so that's another good reason. Sandy said I could totally see that, Trevor, your love and enthusiasm for the weather. And, oh, your dad is up.
But yeah, I mean,
Hi,
like,
all.
I literally,
Merry Christmas, be safe, he
went
says, Trev.
on, I think I went on at least, I can remember at least 4 times in my college tenure at Iowa State where I did literally go out storm chasing and I saw at least 3 tornadoes live in person. I still have the videos on my phone.
Oh, okay.
And 2 of them were twins. An EF4 and an EF3 right next to each other.
Those
A
are
wedge
strong.
and a skinny one. It was the most befuddling day of my entire life. I still remember that day to a T. It was the last day of March 2 years ago in 2022. And yeah, no, I'm sorry, it was 2023 actually. It was the year that I was graduating. So that was only last year. That was what? I cannot believe that was a year and 3/4 of a year ago. So like 1 3/4, like 18 months ago almost,
Yeah.
maybe more like 20, but still, that wasn't that long ago. Yeah, I went out storm chasing like fairly recently, basically. I just can't do it because I live here now. But yeah, storm chasing, tornado chasing, great hobby of mine. I love doing it if I could.
I don't know if you heard me say about your dad's watching.
I did.
Okay, good deal. And your mom's saying Trevor was most happy chasing tornadoes, and she's confirming that you've seen some. So it looks like we are all done here on this Christmas Eve. Again, we'll be back Thursday. Hopefully you enjoy, if you celebrate, hopefully you enjoy the holiday. And
Happy
stay
holidays.
safe.
Sometimes I always like to just err on the side of caution and just say happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Because we don't know what you celebrate. You may celebrate nothing at all. That's
Yep.
fine.
That's
Happy
fine.
holidays.
We'll see you Thursday. Take care.